Hi, this is the Change and Grow Wellness Show, the show for you, the busy professional who wants to live a healthier, happier life with increased energy and productivity. And I'm Jackie Grant, I'm your host. This show is powered by the amazing men and women of Positive Program. So tonight we're talking about making long sustainable change to your health and fitness. And we've got Sarah Weston here, who's a personal trainer and a business owner. And Sarah's going to take us through some tips and tricks and ways that you will be able to make it a sustainable change, especially during this time that we're going through right now. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really pleased to be here.
It's good to have you here, Sarah. So, Sarah, tell me just a little bit about yourself and, in terms of your current business and, how now has affected your business, but also, what going forward, what aspirations as it brought you changes or anything?
Right, okay. So I started off my personal training career because I actually I had a transformation myself. So I was getting married. I'd got to the stage where I felt extremely unhappy with myself. I was overweight, I was lethargic, my skin was terrible, I was feeling quite depressed, and I had really, really bad gut health issues as well. I had irritable bowel syndrome, and I was really, really suffering with it. So all the usual stuff, I was trying to make changes myself. I made some, not for very long.
Yeah.
I would have to soon slip back in.
Yeah.
Best thing I did for myself was hire a personal trainer. So I hired a PT. It took a while for it to twig. I was still kind of the mindset that, I just do a bit of exercise and it'll be fine. And it helped, but it didn't quite do it. It's when I really then took control of my eating, my habits, surrounding up my sleep, stress management, all those things like that the changes started to happen.
Yeah.
And once they happened, it takes a little while, but it kind of gets a little bit addictive. I lost about 3 stone. I lost 5 dress sizes.
Wow.
My skin, I still struggle with occasionally, but cleared up massively. And the most important thing for me was my IBS. It pretty much kind of went dormant, which was a huge thing for me, because anyone that has IBS will know how deliberate that can be to your confidence. It's not a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
And that was in 2011. And I've managed to sustain that ever since. And that's one of the things that people ask me is like, what is the secret? And I'm like, there's not really like a massive secret to it. It can be done. There's just little tricks and tips that you can do along the way, which I'll share some of them with you obviously in a minute.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. So I decided to become qualified myself. So I wanted to help people to achieve the same sort of thing. And coming from that position, I thought I was in quite a good place to be able to do that. I can completely empathize with how people feel. I mean, I used to smoke, I used to drink, I loved Chinese food. My favorite was a doner kebab. And all of those things, people go to me now like, so you don't feel like that anymore? I'm like, well, yeah, I could still go and eat a doner kebab, love them still. I don't, for a number of reasons, or I might do occasionally.
Yeah.
But I've changed it so that I can manage it over long term. So I can have the things apart from the cigarette.
Yeah.
Give them up. And I can also enjoy my life as well. So so I qualified, and I've been a personal trainer now for about 5 years.
Brilliant.
Work from a studio in Leigh-on-Sea. Obviously with the lockdown, we are not working with people anymore. So I've taken everything online, and I'm seeing all my clients and members on Zoom. And also the studio I work from as well, I'm also their head instructor on like the side there, and I'm still looking after all of their members, making sure they're all okay, keeping busy and active. So so that's me. That's
brilliant. That's great. That's an amazing story, Sarah, especially with the outcome that you kind of had, but also the fact that you had the ability to see that it wasn't an easy road, and that you were thinking about those easy roads, and then you saw actually the steps that you took that got you there, and this is like what can help your clients now. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
That's brilliant, because it can be difficult, because I've never been like you know, overweight in such a way that I've had to have a transformation. But what I've had is a hormone imbalance, which has, you know, created, you know, symptoms that, you know, you wouldn't want to have, and that, you know, actually makes you think, right, okay, I can eat that today, but, you know, the next couple of days you can't be going binging on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%, 100%, yeah.
Because
definitely.
you will feel that pain. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like, yeah. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about when you say that. Do you know what I mean? But it's really powerful that you have that ability, because then that must draw clients to you. Does that happen?
It does, yeah, it certainly does. I think it kind of gives client a little bit more confidence in what I'm actually saying to them, because I can say, yeah, like everything you're saying, I know. Like I felt, I know like what that's like. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to sit in your office, because I also have an office job as well. You see, I also work during the day, so I have a lot of juggling to do. I know how hard it is when you're sitting there and the office birthday cakes come round. Everyone goes, "Oh, you're not going to have one." Like, "Oh, you don't." And all of that, and the people that try to sabotage you, not necessarily maliciously, but I don't know, they just think they're being kind to you to let you off a little bit of a cake and all of those sorts of things. I can completely relate to, and people do find it motivating. I find when I say, well, I have been like this now for nearly 10 years. Don't get me wrong, I don't stay in absolute physical peak of condition 100% of the time. It goes up and down slightly, but that's like, you're not going to be at, you know, in a certain way the whole time. Your body doesn't sit still, it's always changing, always moving, you know, so you just adapt with it. Sometimes I went on holiday to Mexico recently. I will hold my hands up and say I managed to put 8 pounds on in 10 days. That's a really good time.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. So, you know, I don't stress about it. I was like, okay, I'll come home, I'll just sort my eating habits out for a couple of weeks, I'll sort my training back out for a couple of weeks, and I'll go back to where I am. I kind of like to think of myself as kind of like a balance now. Kind of do that. Exactly. Because you know, you can't be 100%. That would be just too much. You know, it'd be so boring. So, you know, really and truly, you got to have a bit of that 20%, 80. You know, that's all good.
Exactly. And I think that's where people do start to fall down. That's one of the sort of changes I do sort of say to my clients is, you aren't going to be able to be perfect all the time. So you set yourself up with this perfect diet and this perfect routine, and you're going to do that. And it's sustainable for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. But after that, real life kicks in and it's not sustainable anymore. And then you can't then carry on achieving that. You feel like you failed, and then you generally get the whole, oh well, failed, so that's it. And that's not what a sustainable change is about. A sustainable change is about it being flexible to fit into your lifestyle, so you can go and enjoy yourself, you can go on holiday and not exercise and drink margaritas on the beach for 10 days and it's fine. You know?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's about kind of, you know, having an understanding of that you have to have pleasures. You know, it's not about being restrictive. There's flexibility, you know.
Because, you know, as soon as you say I can't have that, you want it.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
The only thing you want, then. The only thing
exactly. It becomes so big than it was in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I mean, and that's why I've never kind of gone for the whole you see, like the healthy treats. So like you can make, I don't know, for example, chocolate mousse out of an avocado.
Oh yeah.
Now if you like that sort of thing, awesome, great. I really don't. I don't think it tastes that nice. So I spend all that time making a chocolate mousse out of an avocado. I eat it and I'm a bit like, well, that wasn't that nice. I want a chocolate mousse now. I don't do that anymore. I just have the thing that I wanted and just fit it in with my lifestyle, rather than focusing on it being the healthy treat that you can have.
No, I understand exactly what that's cracking me up.
Never make chocolate mousse out of avocado. It's horrible. Honestly, horrible.
I have made brownies. You've got to try them though, seriously, out of sweet potato, right?
Oh really?
Yeah,
okay.
Sweet potato. You would never know the difference, like, it's completely right. I made them That's just to check them out. And then my son was going down the shop to get his chocolate, as he does. He comes back with loads of bigger sweets and stuff like that. And I said to him, right, taste this brownie. Like, have a bit of this brownie. He's like, oh yeah, and then ate it, right? And I said, you know, that's not a normal brownie. He's like, what? And I said, it's not a normal brownie. It's like, basically I made it with sweet potato. And he's like, shut up.
It tastes so good.
So actually, it does taste good. But if you make the black bean one, it is rank.
Really? I have heard about a beetroot one. Apparently you can make really nice like chocolate cakes and stuff out of beetroot. You know, when you think like,
oh, I don't know.
No, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I'll just fit it into the 20% somehow. Much easier.
Yeah. No, I like experimenting with stuff, but it's not like my whole being not, because you could, you know, sometimes the odd sweetness is good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. It just gives you that kind of bit of a, like, normality may be the wrong word, but that kind of like just being able to go to the shop and buy something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's simple. Whereas if you then got to spend 20 minutes, half hour making something, all right, you might not make it, you might not have it, I suppose. But yeah, it's just sometimes just for ease and practicality fitting into your life.
Yeah. And also, it's back to that same old thing about, like, you know, restricting yourself, because at the end of the day, you are, when you get with that mentality, you are restricting yourself. And actually, you know, you can get into that mindset of thinking, well, you know, actually, I'm going to make this, but after I've made it, do I really want it? Because it's not the thing that I actually wanted in the first place.
Yeah. Or the other thing is like, oh, it's healthy. I'll have like 3 times the amount of serving that I would have had normally. It's healthy. Protein balls, okay. I do like protein balls, actually, homemade protein balls. But yeah, we literally like make a batch and we eat them all that evening. We're like, oh.
Exactly. That's exactly the thing, isn't it? It's like you start going, well, it's healthy. You're so right. Totally.
And actually, I really didn't want to eat that many protein balls.
Exactly. But it's like, they're nice. Me and my sister did that the other day. We completely made, what was it, carrot cake. It was so nice. And then, like, it was made with like creme fraiche thing on the top or something. That was whatever. Oh, it was low carb or something. Yeah. Anyway, right. Next minute we had a big cake, and the next minute there was half a cake. Then there was.
Just keeps going, doesn't it?
You keep looking at the fridge. Don't look at the cake. Don't look at the cake.
It calls you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are some of the steps that you take with your clients in terms of, you know, so that it's achievable for them?
Okay. So first of all, I sit there and talk to them about what they actually do want, because it can actually be a very different thing what they want to what they actually thought they wanted.
Yeah.
Particularly with all the images that you see now on Instagram, in magazines and things like that, they're not real. You know, I mean, I've shown one of my clients today, I can make myself have a thigh. I haven't got a thigh gap, but I can make myself have a thigh gap if I just tilt myself a certain way and do it. And I sit with them and sort of discuss, what is it that you actually want? Yeah. Then I talk to them about what it would take to achieve that, because some of the things that they want, they are achievable, but they sacrifice things, and are they prepared to? Yeah. A lot of my clients are busy women, so they work in the city, they have children, and kind of what I say to them is like, is this actually really like a big priority for you now, like in your scheme of the day? Because everyone's got the same 24 hours in the day, and I know that can be really annoying saying to hear, but we all have. And it's how you choose to spend those 24 hours. Yeah. And if you choose to prioritize something else over exercise, that's fine, but you kind of have to realize that is what you're doing. Yeah. So when like these mums say, I haven't got time to exercise, it's like you have, but you're kind of giving your priority to something else. Yeah. And that's fine if that's where you want to put your priority. If you're saying that you can't change the kids this, you can't change that, well, that's fine. They're your priorities. So then what we're going to have to do is try and find another way to do this, because it's got to fit in somehow and somewhere. Yeah. And because of that, your whatever you want to achieve might take you that little bit longer, because somebody that could dedicate 4 hours a week will probably achieve that quicker than somebody that will dedicate, let's say, 2 hours a week. So it's about sort of setting a bit of an expectation and a bit of realisticness around their goal.
Yeah.
I find that really, really works for them. I always then focus on, we like talk about problems. So what are the things that are going to pop up? What are the problems? A lot of them I find, particularly for the ladies that work in the city, is about always being on the go and grabbing food on the go.
Yeah.
So we'll then look at, okay, you leave for work at 6 o'clock in the morning. You haven't got time to sit there and eat a breakfast before you go. You haven't got time to meal prep. You don't get home till 7 o'clock at night. You don't want to meal prep. Not that you haven't got time. It's not your priority.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. So what are we going to do? I look at where they work. I look in the area around where they work. What eatery options have they got around? What ones do they like? What could they go and grab from there rather than going and grabbing from there, which would be a better food option for them? Yeah. Because it's sustainable. They're in London every day. They can pop to that shop and go and get that. They've got 4 or 5 food options which they really like.
Loads in the city.
Yeah. So that's another one we put in there. Yeah. The other things I look at that, there's sort of support network around them as well. So, you know, who have you got around you, and are they going to be supportive of this for you? Now, you can't then say to them, well, okay, your husband's not supposed to get rid of him. Well, yeah, I suppose. Some people might. But then looking then at finding support mechanisms for them, whether it be through myself, whether it be through putting them in contact with people at the gym, putting them into groups, because again, sustainable change I find comes when you've got people around you with or a similar goal. Doesn't mean you have to completely ditch all your old friends, but I certainly found I actually kept most of my friends, to be honest. But there were some that did drop off because they were the friends that all I did was go out and party with. And then when you don't party all the time and that's all they want to do, you kind of,
exactly. Yeah.
They were like ways off. So so finding their support networks for them as well. And again, which ones will work for them. It's all about finding personal training is problem solving. Yes. And it's sort of getting them to focus on what they can do, not what they can't do. When they say, I can't exercise, I can't exercise at the gym. Okay, you can't exercise at the gym, but what can you do? Yeah. What can kids involved in? What can you do with your kids? You know, at the weekend, what do you do? Do you go to the pub? Could you go and try something new? Could you go and try rock climbing? Base jump is a brilliant one. Injuries aside, potentially. But you've been to base jump? No. It's exhausting, absolutely exhausting. Jumping around on trampolines for hours. Oh, my God.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, it's brilliant. But it's, you know, it's a way of then what time to gym. Okay, go and run around with your kids in base jump for half. Yeah. Example. All those little things are changing to try to get little hacks into their life.
Yeah, brilliant.
And that can sort of be long term.
Brilliant. Yeah. That's amazing. That's really, really a wide range of things that you do to identify with the client, you know, exactly what barriers they've got, what challenges and what solutions that they can make to make the changes in order for them to make it a long-term sustainable change. So
yeah, I mean,
the job is done here, Sarah.
Well, another big one for women, and this one's not always a popular one.
What's that?
Is I say to you, like, how old are your kids?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, 8, 9, for example. And I'm like, okay, well, why can't get them to tidy their room? Get them to make their beds.
Yeah.
Can you? And they're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, kids now, at 3 years old, can work on iPads, you know, if they can work.
Yeah.
Because actually what it gives that person back is time. Which it seems people are most poor in is time.
Yeah. So
giving them back that little bit of time and finding ways for them to multitask as well. Again, more for my corporate clients. You have to say to them, okay, you've got to check your email. Can you walk on a treadmill while you're checking your email? Can you, I don't know, listen to things whilst you're walking, go for a walk and listen to them? Sometimes it's a no, sometimes it's a yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then little.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I love that one because actually it's bringing responsibility to their children by, you know, giving them chores or, you know, starting to do that. Because if you're 8 or 9, I think I was cleaning up then.
I was doing the dishes. Yeah, I had a whole list of jobs I had to do.
I'm telling you. You know what I mean? And that was, I was getting my little pocket money out of that. Do you know what I mean? Go get my few sweets.
Exactly. I'm sure I was cutting grass at 10. I'm sure I was doing something.
Exactly. I know, because I remember I used to walk round to my grandma. I mean, those times you could walk round. I walked round to my grandma. She probably lived about 1.5 miles or 2 miles, and I was about 8. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be walking around bringing something, of course. You know,
course.
you're not going down there with just nothing in your hands.
No. Goes carrying it there.
You know, so really and truly, it's true, you know, actually giving them a bit of responsibility, take responsibility for your room. Do you know what I mean? It actually gets them growing up a bit quicker, and actually chopping food as part of meal prep and all that kind of stuff. So, no.
Exactly. And it's just a little bit, you know, they're not going to do it perfect. Of course they're not.
No.
But it's how they learn, so it helps them learn as well. Some mums are like, do you know what? Yeah, actually, they're doing that from tomorrow. Others are like, no, I'd rather not. And again, that's a thing. So I'm like,
exactly.
Your decision. There was a potential time saver there.
Yeah.
We'll find something else.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. That's great. So, Sarah, where can people find you?
So I'm in a couple of places. Facebook, I am Sarah Weston Personal Training. Mm-hmm. Instagram, I am Sarah Weston PT, and I am based in Leigh-on-Sea in Essex by Southend. Brilliant.
And Sarah, have you got any freebies for my listeners? Anything that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So if they want to head over to my Instagram, I'm going to put a post on today, say that I am on the show here today. So if they want to give that a like and leave me a comment, I'm happy to give them a free 20-minute consult on Zoom to have a little chat with them and see if I can help find some ways for them to sort of super streamline their life, or you know, help them if they want, really.
Brilliant. That's great. That's great. So any final words about making long-term sustainable changes?
Okay, yeah. So just remember, that's what I would say to everybody, it's individual. Not one size fits all. Depending on what you want to achieve, most of my clients do come to me for weight loss. There is the basics, there is the calories in, calories out, there is obviously making sure you've got your nutrients, etc., etc. But how that is delivered is individual to each person. So it's not looking at that person going, oh, but they're doing that and they're getting this, this and this. You're an individual, complex human being. Your body works in mysterious ways, shall we say. It will get there eventually. It's just about being patient. And in this time, everything we have is instant. I think that is forgotten with making sustainable changes in your life, is that for them to become sustainable, you need to build them into a habit. You brush your teeth every single day because it's a habit that's been ingrained into you since you was, however old, whenever you got teeth.
Yeah, so exactly.
It needs to happen with your health and fitness, you know, and to make it achievable. You know, if you wake up one morning and go, right, I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water, I'm going to train for 45 minutes a day, I'm only going to eat this, I'm going to eat these times, it will work for a little while and then it will stop working because it is not sustainable. Start small. Start by drinking your water every day. Do that for a week. Then add in some steps, extra steps per day. Then add in an extra session per day. Don't beat yourself up if you can't do it all at once, because to be perfectly honest, not everyone does it all at once. Most people don't do it all. People only post the good stuff on the social medias and on the Instagrams. They do not post the hundreds of times that they have failed at something. They will post the one time that it did work. So remember when you're seeing things as well. It's about breaking things down, building good solid habits, and then building on them good solid habits from there.
Such true words, Sarah. Such true words. So thank you, Sarah, for being on. It's been a storm, and
thank you for being
it's been great. So, guys, this is the end of the Change of Go Wellness show for today, and I'm Jackie Grant, your lifestyle and health advocate, granting you better health and fitness.